Hello guys, um, welcome to the review for Kawasaki ER6F. Surprisingly, I've been riding this bike for about last 500 miles and I've got some reviews which really need to be put out because I'm sure there are a lot of first time buyers who would want to know how this bike is and exactly how capable it is, what are the drawbacks of the bike. So I've been riding my Yamaha Phaser 600 for about 3.5 years with over 42,000 miles. But over this period of time, I've never felt so left alone. But since I don't have a bike, I got this loan bike, and since I've been riding this bike, I've found out that this is not one of the bikes which you'd want to ever get onto. Number of reasons, simply because this bike is just not capable of being on the motorways, or if you're doing any kind of a touring, this bike is not meant for you. Looks wise, yeah, it does make you go for that kill because it's Kawasaki and they're quite good with making those kind of looks, but eventually you'd need a bike that's capable of taking you comfortably from place to place, or at least, I mean, if you're ever going to be on the motorway, this is not the bike you'd want. Reasons being, first of all, the sitting pose, because I'm about 5'10", and when I get on the bike, there's a big wind which actually hits my shoulders. So you can imagine the windscreen is actually very low on the bike. So if I'm sitting on the bike here, all the wind that's coming here, this is really very low. So it's a headwind and it's like riding a naked bike instead of a faired bike. And it's very compact. It does, from certain point, give you a big bike feel, but when you sit on the bike, it's absolutely small and make you feel like it's as if a 250 or a 300cc bike, not really a big bike feel. It's a 650 engine, has a thump, so it's a twin cylinder. It does produce a lot of thump when you're riding it, but let's see the sound of it, because you can feel it from the sound when you hear it. It's quite an old classic dial on it. This is not the latest model, but I suppose the engine is still the same. So this is the thump which actually the bike produces, and you can feel it that it's a heavier exhaust, although the exhaust of it is actually at the bottom. It's not one of the most beautiful sounding bike, but it's just a thump on it which gives you that it's a big bike. But I don't think so you can ever actually, even with an aftermarket exhaust, change the thump on this bike. Well, that's about the sound on the bike, but then you've got the seating, you've got the comfort, riding in the rain, because I did about 2.5 hours ride in the rain to get to Bristol from here, and it's about really uncomfortable because the seat bit is not comfortable on the long runs, especially if it's raining. The seat is not capable of even pushing the water down. It just kind of like soaks the water and lets the water soak in. So if you're on the wet, expect the bike to not at all be comfortable in the rain. Other than that, it's a city bike basically. It's not meant for any fast speeds, or it's not meant, it does go up to 110, after which it says no, I haven't left any more power in me. Cruising at 70 miles, good. Be careful about it on the motorways. It's got lot, because the bike is just 178 kgs. It's very, very light. So on the motorway, whenever you're on the straight line, and if you get the side winds, you just get blown away like left and right, balancing between the two. And riding in straight line with the side winds coming in, it's a horrible feeling. You would not want to be on the motorway riding a bike with the side winds, especially this bike. It just leaves you no room to control it and be comfortable with. Brakes and suspension. Brakes, they do have floating brakes on the front and a standard brake on the back, but the brakes are not at all good. This model particularly comes with an ABS, as it pretty much says with the stickers and everything on here. But the ABS, I really feel it's not even worth a normal standard braking as on the Yamaha. I'm comparing it from Yamaha because I own a Yamaha, and this is not the kind of a bike which you'd actually be on. So after you coming from a heavy braking bike or a bike which has solid brakes, you'd feel the braking on the bike is just not right for, I mean, a power brake at all. It's ABS, but I don't really find it as comfy, or it's just like a very gentle soft brake. It hasn't got the power in it to just stop it. I've used the rear brake a couple of times. I just almost stood on the brake, but even then the bike just feels like it's just moving and it's not stopping, so it's not the right kind of feeling which you'd want to have. Suspension wise, it's a pretty standard suspension. The front ones are quite regular shocks, so there isn't much on them. The rear suspension is I mean, they've put it in a way that it belongs to Kawasaki in a standard way that it is a Kawasaki trademark. But I would say, does it really help? No, it's not at all comfortable. So, on the other hand, from ergonomics point of view, the buttons and everything is pretty standard. You've got the on off and standard settings for the brake lever, same as on the clutch lever. You've got the pass button in the front, and then you've got the high beam, low beam, and the emergency beam. You've got the indicators, standard left right as the normal ones, a horn, engine kill switch, and again the engine on switch. But besides that, the positioning of mirrors is not the greatest, because even in the city I would be looking over my shoulders on the left and the right, and the mirrors don't really help because the positioning of the mirrors is not the best way they've done it together. So comparing this bike to a standard 600 4-cylinder bike, I would say this bike comes nowhere near it. I would cruise, at 100 miles, cruising on a 600 phaser is a smooth thing. You would just do it like for all day long if you don't have to stop for filling in it. On this bike, you can just forget it. There's no way that you can use this bike for a long rides. Not comfortable ever, especially in the Western Europe, Eastern Europe, anywhere on the smooth roads. Other than that, it's a very nifty 50 kind of average bike for a city. This bike is not meant for any kind of long riding, touring kind of thing. The tires are pretty standard. The front one comes with 120. The rear is quite slick. The rear fitted on the standard is 160. So it doesn't leave you like a big feel on the wheel. It's like pretty standard 160 on the back. Brakes, as I said, they're not the greatest. So from my standpoint, this bike is absolutely not meant for anyone who's been on the road for long. But city riding is the only thing you can think about with this bike. Especially if you're a tall person, this bike is a no-go for you. If you're a small, like let's say if you're 5'6", 5'8", this bike is suitable for you if you're in the city. Other than that, that's my review, and I felt it was needed to put out to the people who might be looking to find something suitable for themselves. If you're a short person and you're looking for a bike which can be comfortable, this might be it. But for anyone who's tall, I'm saying 5'8", 170 centimeters plus, this bike's not for you. Overall, just a city bike. Plain simple words. Final. Cheers guys. Bye.